What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And Happy New Year! It is officially 2026. We made it, people. And with the new year brings a bunch of new goals. People use the new year as an opportunity to light a little fire under their butts and get started. And I used to be a hater because I'm like, why do you have to wait for the new year to start taking action? But I've noticed the value of having external motivation to get started. And sometimes that's what people need. So if this is you, awesome. And I'm glad you're listening to this podcast today, because today I'm going to talk to you about how to get started today. How to just get that ball rolling. But before we dig in, I just wanted to thank you for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate everybody who tunes in. I was shocked by the recap, the Spotify for Creators recap. There's people from Australia and New Zealand and the UK who listen, and Canada, which is super cool. Shout out to Canadians. I have family in Montreal, and I know sometimes the French Canadians are a bit of haters, so to speak, but that's okay. It's cold there all the time. They're just not in a good mood. I guess the other parts of Canada are cold too. Anyway, but thank you for people. If you're consistently listening and you're from one of those countries, please reach out and let me know. That's super cool. I'd love to learn how you found this podcast, what it's like living in another country. Because I'm born and raised in the US. I have family in Montreal. As I said, I've been to France a couple times, have some family there, but for the most part, don't really know about other countries that much. I'd like to. I like to travel. Finances aren't always permitting. So it's a future goal. Visit all those countries. But anyway, thank you. I was shocked. So I appreciate it. And if you're not from one of those countries, but another country, also reach out, because that's super cool. And again, I'd love to learn more about your country, your culture, and all that. So anyway, thank you for listening. If this show has resonated with you in any way, if you could please share it, subscribe, rate the show. It just helps me get in front of more people, helps me help more people, and debunk the other crap that's out there. So thank you. But now, for the focus of the episode, how can you get started today? And honestly, it just takes one thing. What is one thing you can do today that is better than you did yesterday? Maybe it's starting the day with 20 ounces of water. Maybe it's going on a walk. Maybe it's getting a gym membership because you didn't have one before. Maybe it's starting to pay attention to what is in your food that you're eating on a regular basis. To looking at the protein intake on the food labels or the calories. To maybe being more mindful about the amount of food you're eating and just thinking about it without judgment. Right? There's a lot of ways to get started. So first, identify, if you're looking at your life, what is your biggest hurdle? Are you overly stressed? Are you not super active? Do you have a lot of aches and pains in your neck, low back, hips, knees, shoulders, core, ankles? Do you have low energy? Do you struggle with nutrition? Have you never paid attention to what you're eating? Right? Try to figure out what is that biggest thing that bothers you the most? Why are you listening to this? What are you trying to improve? And what is the biggest hurdle that you've noticed right now? What is one little thing you can do to move that needle in the positive direction, to build some momentum? in the positive direction, to use that New Year's motivation to get you to take action on something that's been challenging for you. And just get started. Pick one thing, no matter big or small. I recommend smaller because it tends to help with the consistency side of things. Like for example, when people are getting started on their training 2026, they're like, I'm going to go to the gym every day for an hour. But last year they went to the gym 3 times for an hour. It's like, that's kind of unrealistic. Maybe let's set a goal to go once a week for the next month. If you over exceed that, that's awesome. But you don't need to, because you going once a week for a month is way more than you did last year when you only went 3 times, right? So you're already starting the month strong, or the year strong. It could be committing to one exercise a day. One of my favorite clients to coach, she started with me and she's like, I'm only going to work out once a week. 20 minutes max, realistically. And I was like, cool, we'll start there. Now she works out 2 to 3 times a week for over an hour. And she's the one who asked to do more. Right? That's awesome. So start small. Don't be afraid to start small. I have a lot of all or nothing thinkers that probably listen to this because that's what I used to be. Overachievers, it's like go big or go home. What's the point if it's not an hour a day? It's like, well, last week you didn't do anything. So if you go once and do one exercise, that's better than last week. So why not just commit to that? And if you end up doing more, that's awesome too. But sometimes people set these goals that are so huge and unrealistic that they tend to not be very capable of achieving them. And then they give up because they're like, well, there's no way I can do this. And it's like, well, yeah, because you went from 0 to 1,000. Like, that's not sustainable. Why not go from 0 to 1? And if you do that every day, by the end of the year, you'll have 365 new improvements, 365 new wins to celebrate. So, pick something, no matter big or small. I'd pick more smaller, more achievable things, and just get started. And I said it could be as small as just starting with the day with a glass of water, if you don't drink enough water. It could be going on a stroll. It could be buying a gym membership. It could be paying attention to the food labels. It doesn't have to be this huge overhaul of your life. Right? Maybe it's just parking the car further from the grocery store so you get more steps in. Maybe it's taking the stairs instead of the elevator or escalator. Right? Maybe it's getting a standing desk and standing more than you're sitting. So, no matter big or small, just do something and don't wait. Why wait? Don't procrastinate. Life can change drastically, so you might as well start taking action. And another thing I like to remind people, which is it's kind of sad to be honest, is if you're not actively trying to improve your health, you're actively getting worse every day. Because if you're continuing those poor habits that got you into poor health in the first place or that are detracting from your goals, you staying the same is taking you further away from those goals. So, anyway, hope this episode was helpful. I wish I ended it on a more positive note. Well, I will. You know what? It's 2026. Let that light a little fire under your butt to get started. Don't wait. Do one thing better today than you did yesterday. Start taking action on it. And if you need some help or extra guidance with that, that's my job. I love to help people improve their health and fitness. That's why I left a stable career to do this, to coach full time. So if you need any guidance with that, you can book a discovery call below and we can chat and get started. And we can chat about what the coaching process would look like with me. But if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you probably know. So you're probably ready to get started if you book that call. So let's do it. Let's get started today. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy 2026. If this episode lit a fire in you to get started, please share it with somebody who you know is struggling with their health. Maybe rate the show, subscribe, and thank you. Now let's make 2026 ours, guys. And I will chat with you all later. Peace.